We have been in a spiritual evolution as much as a biological evolution. Our spirits have been evolving as well as our bodies. And it's not the fact that we've been in a spiritual evolution, is that now it is really important that we understand why we're here and what our lessons are. Because change is happening in this world and we've got to raise our vibrational frequencies. Now more than ever, it's so important to figure out what our lessons are. I see individuals having different lessons as well as globally as a civilization. We're having lessons. We're having lessons about fear, about overcoming fear, about compassion, forgiveness, about love, about our heart chakras. I channel with a group of angels that's watching over our earth at this time. So we choose to come here because the souls that come here over and over become some of the most advanced souls around. It is hard, but we pick our lives. Every single one of you have picked your life. I talk quite a bit about reincarnation and karma in my book. And when I was going over what I wanted to speak about today, I was yawning. And y'all, that is not a good sign. I said to my angels, what am I gonna do? And they said, tell the stories. So I'll tell some fun stories here today rather than talk about that. But we pick our lives, and what we have is we have a life selection committee. And it's a very exciting time for us to be in spirit. We sort of go to this staging area, and we usually bring an angel or a guide with us. But there are actually a group of angels, I call them the Life Selection Committee. They are masters, they are as old as time. What we see, or what they show me, is we sort of have these three-dimensional TVs that go by us. If you can kind of think of a 3D TV. We are able to stop those TVs and step into a life for a brief moment to see how that life feels. Now, when we pick our lives, we are looking at our spiritual advancement. What lessons do we need to get further up on the train? What lessons haven't we learned in past lives? We can choose any life we want. The choice is up to us. We can be someone from Asia, someone from Europe, North America, South America. This is just a temporary vessel. We pick what we want. Now, the Life Selection Committee, in their infinite wisdom, has a way of encouraging us to pick the right life. Maybe it's a little difficult and we're balking and we're not sure we want to do it, but they help move us towards that direction. Now, I have read about that we can reincarnate and our soul groups can be as many as 100 to 200 members. I myself have not channeled that. When I see soul groups, I see smaller ones like 5 to 25. And as you know, we can choose to come together. We can choose to help each other. We can be parents, children, siblings, best friends. We can be a boss. Soul groups come together and work together in many ways. Our lessons can be incredibly easy, or they can be incredibly difficult. The harshness or ease of our lessons usually has to do with our guides. Maybe we spent a last life where we didn't progress very well, and maybe the guides will decide to make your next life a little bit easier or a little bit harder. I have seen spiritual beings that are coming from all over the universe to come help us at this time. If you feel like the odd one out, or this world is driving you crazy when you watch the news, you're probably a light worker here helping. I've asked the angels, how come they didn't come earlier? How come they didn't come before the Holocaust? World War I, World War II, the Korean War, the Gulf War, Afghanistan, pick one. There's tons of them. And they said that the energy was not high enough. We did not have a high enough vibrational frequency on this earth to sustain these advanced souls. But as more of you come, We raise the vibrational frequency on this planet, and it is important. It is important because change is coming. I don't know if you saw Wayne Peterson speak last night. He was amazing, and he spit out some dates, the exact same dates I got, about 2013 sort of being a mile marker for us, and a lot of change happening in 2025. So again, it's not the fact that we're in this spiritual evolution, it's that we need to remember who we are and why we're here. And we need to work on our lessons. We are running out of time. We need to get there. We need to understand these things. So vibrational frequencies, that is your energy, your aura, who you are. It is made up of the words that you speak, the actions that you take, and even the thoughts that you think make up your vibrational frequency. Even sometimes it's past life stuff that comes to us. The angels have told me that there are 2 quick ways to raise your vibrational frequency and a fast way to lower your vibrational frequency. And the whole point here is we want to raise our vibrational frequency. One way we can raise it is by being grateful. A very simple and easy way to raise your vibrational frequency. Sometimes our lessons are hard, but we still need to be grateful for those lessons. Because no matter what happens to us, there is something to be learned. Things don't just happen for no reason at all. We must learn from our lessons, whether they're easy or they're difficult. So being grateful, just say, thank you, angels. Thank you for this day. Thank you for that difficult woman I ran into at the grocery store. I learned a lesson about compassion and patience. Thank you for my difficult family member. I'm learning to love and to forgive and to overcome fear. Another way to raise your vibrational frequency is about being in service. And we are in hard economic times right now. And if you heard Wayne Peterson speak last night, you know that this is all for a reason. Things are happening to us right now. Collapse of our governments, collapse of financial institutions. This is all happening globally because as a civilization, we need to overcome feelings of fear. We need to let that go to raise our vibrational frequency. So being in service is one quick way to do that. And you don't always have to give money or give time. Some of us don't have $100, or maybe we don't even have $10. Some of us have children and we don't have 8 hours on a Saturday. And that's okay. I'll be telling you stories of other ways we can be in service. The fastest way, y'all, to lower your vibrational frequency is by being judgmental. We don't want to judge anyone. We often don't know what others' life lessons are. Some people have very difficult life lessons and it makes them a little grumpy. You may have a boss or a friend or a family member that's like this. But try not to judge others. Try and be understanding. The angels really want us to run our actions and our thoughts and our words through our heart chakras before we speak to others. It's important. It's important for raising our vibrational frequency. We need to keep love in our hearts. Now, I'm just going to explain this to you how my angels explain it to me. We have a good karma piggy bank and we've got a bad karma piggy bank. And every word that we speak, every action that we take, and even every thought that we think puts a coin in either our good karma piggy bank or our bad karma piggy bank. So, I can tell you 10 years ago, I was angry spice, y'all. I was so angry. I was angry watching the news and how horrific people are. And one of my best friends said, Nikki, go get some therapy. And I did, and it took me a long time. It took me 10 years or so to think positive, to feel positive thoughts, and to do positive things every day of my life. It's hard. Sometimes my angels have me do things. So so I can sort of experience it, and then I can write about it and talk about it. And they were telling me how many bad thoughts I was having in the course of a day. So anytime I had a bad thought, they told me they were going to make that little cha-ching sound of a coin going into a piggy bank, and it was going into my bad karma piggy bank. Well, after day 2, oh my God, I was going crazy. Please stop, I get it. Too many bad thoughts. Work on that. Work on changing your thoughts and being positive, not judging others. People are wonderful. Sometimes you have to dig a little bit, but people are certainly really wonderful. The angels want you to know this whole setup, it's not a hierarchy where the great one, Buddha, God, the big potato, whatever you wish to call it, is on top, and then it's the angels and the guides, and all of us are clawing on top, trying to get up that ladder. It's not like that at all. We are so interwoven. All of us are interwoven. And the angels say it's more like a train. Wait, I am the fish swimming in the wrong direction. It's more like a train, where on the front of the train is the conductor, the great one, whatever you wish to call it, and it's the angels and guides, and then it's the rest of us. And we're all trying to learn our lessons and move forward on this spiritual train. Not up. We want to go forward. We want to raise our vibrational frequency. It's important. We're running out of time. It's very important. My angels have shown me that we all have this beautiful light inside of us. And I see it as a golden light. And one day I was channeling and I said, oh, it looks like a compass. And so they said, yes, it's like a compass. It's a golden compass of spiritual lessons. And we came up with 8 sort of guidelines that can help guide you to higher vibrational frequencies. The first thing is about living life in forgiveness. And forgiveness, y'all, is truly a state of grace. Sometimes it takes tremendous amounts of strength to forgive people in our life. But forgive them we must. It's one of these global lessons that we must learn at this time before this change starts coming to us. The second lesson is about love, and it's love is all we need. We have had this sort of negative web around our earth, and this is why so many of you light workers could not come earlier. Some of the earlier light workers came early to help break up this negative web. And by keeping love in our hearts, we can break that up further so more beings can come from the universe to help us. Because we're in trouble here. We need help. Number 3 is about giving to others and giving to the earth. Talking about raising your vibrational frequency, about being grateful and being in service. I live in Galveston, and I often walk down the beach with my daughter, she's 8, and my lab, Max. And during the summer months, it's really upsetting to me to see all the trash on the beach. People not honoring our environment. Because along with that trash are dead birds. The birds like eating the shiny plastic, and it gets stuck in their stomach, and eventually it kills them. So when we go to the beach, we take 2 bags. We collect shells and pebbles in one bag, and we collect trash in the other. I am teaching my daughter about being in service to the environment. What we can, we bring home and stick in the recycling bin. The rest we stick in the trash. Being in service is about giving to others and giving to the earth, not always giving money or time. The 4th golden compass point is about being grateful. The angels say every day of our lives, there are spiritual lessons, both good and bad, and we must be grateful for both scenarios. Even for the bad things that happen to us, there are lessons. We find ourselves sometimes in these cycles where we feel like we're stuck and we can't get out, and maybe bad things keep happening to us. It's because we haven't learned our lessons. And lessons happen every day. It can be a song on the radio. It can be a sign on the side of the road. It can be a complete stranger that you speak to in the store. They are everywhere and they occur every day. The fifth point is about being kind to others and being kind to the earth. We are all connected. If we hurt other people or we hurt the environment, we are only hurting ourselves. It is affecting our karma. Number 6, golden compass of spiritual lessons. Don't judge others. We don't know what their life purpose is. Every single one of us has got a beautiful light inside of us. And we alone choose to shine that light. And we can shine the light on ourselves, and we can choose to shine that light on people who can't, won't, or don't know how to shine the light on themselves. So shine your light. Now is the time. Shine your light on others. So be happy, be at peace. Choose to shine your light. The last compass is about identifying with spiritual strength. The angels want you to know that great power has nothing to do with how fast we can run, how many push-ups we can do in a minute, if we got a law degree from Harvard. That is not our power. Our power comes from our spirit. It is our spiritual strength. And it is like a nuclear reactor. Anything you want and need is within your spirit. You can manifest anything you want. It is there. So identify with spiritual strength. The angels want you to ask yourselves, why are you here? What is your purpose of being here? What are your lessons? What are you learning or not learning? I can tell you 3 lessons that you're having right now. People are having them all over the earth. There are lessons of overcoming fear. Are you overcoming fear in your life? It's important to raise your vibrational frequency and overcome fear for the change that's going to be happening. Globally, as humanity, we have life lessons about forgiveness. We must forgive each other. We must learn to live in loving tolerance. We must learn to get along. And trust me, it took Angry Spice 10 years to get to that point. If I can get there, you guys can get there. Other lessons about love, about keeping love in your heart. Sometimes that's hard to do. So we're in these cycles, and every single one of you has 1 to 3 angels that are with you and 1 to 3 guides. We have other angels and guides that come into our life as we're learning our lessons. So if you find yourself in the same cycle, think about a lesson you're not learning. Because once you break that cycle, you'll get to the next cycle or the next lesson. And then the next cycle, on and on. Oh, and look at me. I'm moving towards the front of the train. That's what we want to do. All right, I'm going to tell a Target story. Please don't cry. So I do things for my angels, and one year they asked me in December to go to a Target on a Saturday. And I said, you must be crazy. But they asked me to go, and I did. And they flashed the Target at me, and of course it wasn't the one 5 minutes away, it was the one 30 minutes up the road. So I said, okay, I hummed and hawed and got myself up there. Had no idea why I was there. Walking through the toy section, I literally bumped my cart into an elderly gentleman. In his cart, he had a baseball glove, a baseball, and a hula hoop. And I knew he was the reason I was there. He had a woman behind him. I knew it was his wife. I knew that she had passed away. She had downloaded some information to me very quickly. As you know, it's called a knowing, where you get a lump sum of information downloaded to you. And she was telling me that he was on this path. And he had two paths. He was coming to a crossroads, and he could pick a path. He could get sick and pass on and be with her back in spirit. They've been married over 50 years. Or he could choose to stay and help his grandchildren, because they were light workers and they really needed his love and support. And he was telling me how he watches his grandkids sometimes. And I said, oh, how neat, you've got old-fashioned gifts, so you can play with your grandkids. We couldn't play with our grandkids because they went to school all day, then they went to a daycare, and then they came home, and it was homework and dinner, shower, and bed. We've all been there if you have kids. And I said, you know what? You are missing half your presence. You need two baseball mitts to play with your grandson. You need two hula hoops to hula hoop with your granddaughter. You should pick them up from school one day a week and go play with them. And at that moment, my angel showed me this door opening for him. This whole scenario happened because they were teaching me about being in service, raising your vibrational frequency, being in service. Sometimes it's just kind words. Sometimes it's inspiration. Sometimes it's just listening to a complete stranger that you bump into. Being in service, take time. If you bump into someone, talk with them, listen. You are being in service to humanity. It is a wonderful thing. You want to flash that? I love this quote from Joan Walsh Onglin, who says, when seed can start a garden, when drop can start a sea, when doubt can start a hating, and when dream can set us free. We have a plethora of spiritual lessons in front of us every day of our life. It is up to us to learn and grow from these lessons, because they are happening all the time, you guys. Every single day. Could be a song you hear on the radio. Could be a spiritual lesson from a song on the radio. There's a famous parable that goes something like this. You may have heard it before. A man is walking along the seashore, and he sees a boy picking something up from the sand and throwing it into the ocean. And when the man gets closer, he sees the boy picking up a starfish. He is completely surrounded by them, and it seems like there's millions of them on the beach. "Why are you throwing the starfish into the water?" said the man. "If they stay on the shore till morning, they will die," answered the boy without interrupting what he was doing. "But this is stupid," yelled the man. "Look around you. There are millions of starfish here. The shore is littered with them. Your actions won't make a difference." And the boy picked up the next starfish and threw it into the ocean. And he said, "No, my actions will make a difference for this starfish." And so the man helped him throw the starfish into the water. And during the night, many others began to help. And when morning came, there was no starfish left unsaved on that beach. One little action can make a difference. One tiny seed that you have can have a snowball effect for others. The last one. It is our opportunity now to arise and awaken to our true meaning of who we are. It is our time to arise and awaken to our spiritual purpose. It is important, you guys. We all need to raise our vibrational frequency. A lot of change is happening. We'll be moving into different dimensional consciousness here within the next 10 or 15 years. As light workers, you can choose to move with that consciousness. And there's simple things that you can do to make this happen. This life can be horrible and hard, but it also can be terrific and wonderful. We have things on our earth that are not found in other planets in our universe. Things like bravery. Bravery is not common. We also have things that isolate us from other beings that want to interact with us. And that contagious disease is called fear. The angels say it isolates us from the universe. Walking around yesterday, I could feel so many different kinds of light workers here. You guys are coming from all over the universe to help this planet and all the living and non-living things on it. God bless you for doing that, because every single one of you count. Every thought that you think makes a difference. And remember, we're not just in this spiritual evolution. We need to remember our soul's purpose. Now is the time. We've got to do it now. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Thank you. Namaste. Okay, her question is, why are there not more young people involved in this? And there is. My first book, I wrote about a specific group of light workers that have come here to help us, and it's the Indigo, the Crystal, and the Rainbow Children. And I do see little shiny stars everywhere. They are here. Sometimes as a light worker, it can take a long time to realize why we are here, or that we are actually a light worker. It took me into my 30s before I realized that I had a purpose, that I needed to do things. So you may not see young children interested in healing, but it'll come with time. I get a lot of fan mail from my Star Children book, young men and women all over the world who are trying to figure out, they know they're here for a reason, they just don't know what that reason is. And it just takes time for your angels and your guides to unfold that. But I do see kids picking up rocks and playing with rocks and wanting to spend more time outside. These are all young light workers who like that vibrational frequency of being outside. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Oh, you were here 2 years ago.
I've heard with the different generations of the Star Children that there are also scouts that come in before the main wave of that generation. I felt that I'm a crystal scout, and I was wondering if there are any differences in the characteristics between scouts and the main ones that come in.
Yeah, I pegged you as a crystal 2 years ago when I spoke about that. And scouts do come earlier. They come to tread the water for the rest of us. So as a crystal child, the indigos came first. They were angry, and they were angry for a purpose. Sometimes it's okay to be angry, because anger brings about change more quickly. It's a fine line. What's not okay is to do bad things with that anger. So they came to bring down this corrupt system that we have, and next that are coming through are the Crystal Scouts. And you're here to connect everyone, to help rebuild in this new earth that we have coming. You are very much going to be a part of that, showing people how to connect with each other and about being at peace and living in a peaceful environment where we help each other and we don't step on each other. But you are a young crystal. It's always exciting to see that. Yes, ma'am.
A few years ago, I took my daughter to a conference, and she was told that she's an indigo child. Now, she has a son, my grandson, who I was just told this weekend is Arcturian. Is there anything that I can do to make things easier for both of them to do what they need to do?
Okay, you have an indigo son?
Indigo daughter.
Indigo daughter. Okay, so your indigo daughter is angry spice, like I used to be 10 years ago. You need to be understanding of that. They are very confused about this world, and they are supposed to be angry because their anger will help them topple corrupt systems. Eventually, your indigo daughter will move towards a more peaceful way of life. But the best thing you can do for your daughter and your grandchild is love them and support them and let them know you understand them. I'm in my 40s now. I'm 46 this year, and I grew up in New Mexico, a very psychic child, and nobody understood me. It was horrible. Nobody could see or hear the things that I could see or hear. And I felt lost and alone and ashamed, and I was scared. And I shut those abilities down, and it wasn't till later in life that my angels came to me and said, "It's time." So love them, understand them. They feel lost and alone and scared. Let them know that you're there for them. Just support them and help guide them on their path. Buy them books. Bring them to the conference with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
How can I go over?
Okay, what she's saying, and you're from Hungary, right? Thank you for being here. She's saying sometimes she judges people, and I do it too, you guys. Sometimes I do it too. It's really taken me a long time, and we want to do that. Someone cuts you off on the road, you get pissed. You want them to have a flat tire, right? But you can't do that. Rise above your situation. Rise above it and look down as if you're an angel and say, I wish that person well on their path. Please may they not hurt anyone. It's just about retraining your mind to think peaceful thoughts. And your words and your actions will follow after those peaceful thoughts. But it's like training your mind. It takes a long time. But we all do it. We've all been judgmental. But we need to be careful now because that's lowering our vibrational frequency. So we all need to work on that. Being kind, loving, overcoming fear, tolerance of others. Yes, ma'am. Okay, she's asking about sports and competition being, pretty dominant in our world today. And it's true. We've all seen the stories about the soccer moms. They beat each other up on the sidelines. Exercise is good. My angels say we need this. We need to keep our bodies healthy and our spirits. We need to eat organic foods. It's all connected, the mind, body, spirit. Exercise is okay. Killing each other on a sports field or on the sidelines, not so good. It's just something we need to work on. Wayne Patterson was speaking last night. He said that sports may not be around in 100 years. We'll be more peaceful. Maybe we'll just be doing push-ups with each other and not hitting each other, tackling each other on the football field. It's part of our society and part of who we are. I think we can enjoy it, but we don't want to enjoy anyone getting beat up on the sideline or getting hurt. But I think as the decades come through, that may be phasing out as we move into this new earth and this higher dimensional consciousness. We will be living in loving peace of each other. I'm around all day today. Grab me. Tell me your story. I want to hear what you have to say. Yes, sir. Okay, he's asking about hyperactive children. And it's usually the indigos that have a lot of energy. They don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to focus it. We live in this world where we see something that's different, and we want to put a label on it, and we want to give them a drug. And we need to not do that. These indigos are hyperactive. They're often diagnosed with ADD or ADHD. And it's all about their vibrational frequency. They're trying to find where they're supposed to fit in. They're angry. They have a purpose. They're supposed to be angry. Sometimes living in these tight confinements that we have with church, with government, with healthcare, it's difficult for them to assess that because their whole point is to tear down these old, outdated systems that we have. If you see a child with ADD or ADHD, they're probably an indigo, and stick them outside with a ball. There's a thought. Let them run down the street, let them bicycle. They need to be outside in nature. They need these outdoor energies that we have. You know, there's fairies and gnomes. There's so much other things other than angels and guides here. It's good for all of us to be outside and to feel that nature's energy. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Okay, she's talking about a friend with a child that's hyperactive, and she does put him outside quite a bit. And, you know, there's not always a spiritual answer. Some kids are just klutzy. We're not all perfect. It's not always a spiritual answer, but it's good that she's got him outside. Now, those little indigos can be very angry, and when they get to be teenagers, they often commit suicide because they just cannot handle this dense energy that we have here. So it's important to help them through those teenage years. You may want to give her that information. And I have two websites, www.starchildren.info. There is lots of free information about indigo crystals and rainbows, starchildren.info, and www.spiritualevolution.info. Lots of stuff in my book are on those websites, and you can access that for free. If you see children that are in trouble, my email's on there. I get about 50 emails a week, and I answer every single one of them. So if you know of a star child, have them email me. I'm happy to talk to anyone. The second website is spiritualevolution.info. starchildren.info and spiritualevolution.info. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, there's more and more rainbow children coming, and they're kind of amazing. They are all about bringing love and peace to what we have, and it's going to be important for the new earth. They have a very important role about living in peace. They can manipulate energy very easily, and I often see rainbows outside moving rocks around. They like being out in nature, but they don't realize it, but they're already outside trying to manipulate energy. They are able to process things through their bodies unlike anyone else. They are the only ones who could take junk through and it wouldn't harm them. It wouldn't harm their energy at all. There's not very many of us that happens with. I'll just touch base on this. I haven't really channeled, but there's another group after the rainbows that are coming. And as soon as I channel some more about that, I'll stick it on my website. But there's more coming after the indigos, the crystals, and the rainbows. We do have another group coming. As you know, there are light workers. As we raise our vibrational frequency on this planet, more and more light workers who are volunteers from all over the universe can come down and help us. Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy your day today. And grab me, tell me your story. Thank you.